This is the Santa Maria degli Angeli di Partiri, and I know I'm saying all this wrong, but that doesn't matter. But it means the most blessed Virgin and all the angels and martyrs. As I had mentioned in the other video about strolling around Rome, around the Rotary, the Piazza della Repubblica, there is this temple. Now when you look at it from the outside, you think it's just the ruin of a building. But when you get inside, wow, a total surprise. One note though, standing outside the doors are people who are trying to give things away as gifts. Of course, if you take it, then they bug you for money. Also, they want you to sign petitions, so pre-warned, stay away. There are countless churches of all sizes and from all different periods in Rome, but without a doubt, this one here is one of the most remarkable and impressive of the churches in the city. This site was initially the baths of Diocletian during the glory days of the Roman Empire. Then when the Goths came in and sacked the city, they cut the water supply to the aqueducts of the whole city, and the bath just had to be abandoned. From that time until the Renaissance, these baths areas were just the home of bandits and squatters. But the grounds were eventually bought by a French cardinal who commissioned the construction of a beautiful villa and the gardens that you see today. Later on, a Sicilian priest suggested that a church be built on this site because as a honor to all of the Christian slaves who had died during the building of the baths themselves. It wasn't until several decades later in 1560 that the priest's efforts were rewarded when Pope Pius IV commissioned Michelangelo to transform these baths into a church. The interior of the church is just remarkable and completely unpredicated from the look of the outside facade. It's got an impressive dimension, and the temple is just beautifully decorated with vast frescoes on the walls and enormous several colored marble columns. On the floor, visitors are able to see, it's called the Meridian Solar Line. It was built by an astronomer and philosopher in 1703. And this meridian would tell when it was noon throughout the year. It tells you the arrival of the solstices, the equinox, as well as a calendar. You'll have to ask somebody else how this works. I have no idea. The Trevi Fountain is a fountain in the Trevi district of Rome. It's designed by and completed by a number of people, so no one person can actually lay claim to it. It is the largest Baroque fountain in the city and one of the most famous fountains in the world. This fountain has appeared in several notable films like Roman Holiday, Fellini's La Dolce Vita, Three Coins of the Fountain, Sabrina Goes to Rome, just to name a few. The fountain is at the junction of three roads, that's why the name Trevi. It marks the terminal point of the modern Aqua Vergine and the revived Aqua Vergo, and one of the aqueducts that used to supply water to ancient Rome. This place is a prime example of when I say you need to go see something at night under the lights and in the daytime, because you can see two totally different things. The Pantheon is one of those places that you could say a lot about. It's got a lot of history, but it's just something that if you get the chance, you really should try to go see. It is now a church, but it was a former Roman temple completed by the Emperor Hadrian, the same guy who built the wall up in Scotland, and probably dedicated about 126 AD. They're not totally sure because he didn't put the dates on it. One of the most amazing things about this building is that it has a coffered concrete dome and I believe it's still the only concrete dome, unstructured, on the planet. And the other thing is when you look up, it has a hole in the ceiling. So water actually comes in. That's intentional for the time period. And there are drains all around just to kind of keep the water from flowing. But it's an amazing place. This is one of the best preserved of all the ancient Roman buildings, and that's mostly due to because literally throughout its history since the time it was built, it has been in use. The church is dedicated to Saint Mary and the Martyrs. Initially, you used to have to walk upstairs to get into the place, but as centuries passed, they kept filling it up so that now it's almost level. The square in front of the Pantheon is called the Piazza della Rotonda. It is said the Pantheon has one of the most perfect interior spaces ever constructed, and it's been copied ever since, but you'd have to talk to an architect about that.